All right, are we back? Is this Oregon's all back? I mean, 2 wins at home against Northwestern and Rutgers, neither of whom have a winning record in Big Ten conference play, but fun fact, neither does Oregon. And in the best college basketball conferences over the last couple of years, quite frankly, there are plenty of really good teams that have losing records in conference play. Conference play is hard. Basketball, not the same level of urgency as football because there are more games. Okay, now that we're done stating the obvious, let's get to this game against Rutgers because this was the sort of performance I think every Oregon fan had been waiting for. It was a solid, not perfect, never is, don't expect perfection, but a real solid first half. Oregon was up 5, and then in the second half, they ratcheted things up defensively, and they put up 75 points, 37 in the second half, 38 in the first half, nice and consistent, and they beat Rutgers 75-57. Where's this team been? It was always in there. You just had to figure a way to get it out. It was like a mason jar that's screwed on too tight. You see the jam in there that you spent a lot of time making, and you're trying to get it out, but the lid is stuck. Well, I don't know if the lid has been popped off of the mason jar and you can enjoy the delicious jams and jellies like those made in the hypothetical preservation room in the first National Treasure movie. If you get that reference, you're a sicko like me. Let's be best friends. But I do think there was a tangible step forward taken here. So going into Sunday's game against Rutgers, Oregon was projected by Joe Lunardi as an 8 seed in bracketology. That is a far cry from the 3 seed they were projected at when they were, 16-3 on the year. But their wins continue to hold up. So as nervous as this team can make you, or frustrated, disappointed, any of those things, which I understand 100% across the board, not going to blame you there for feeling those things with this team from time to time. The potential is still in there. It's that team that beat teams like Alabama, probably going to be a number 1 seed, Texas A&M, top 2 or 3 seed, Maryland, top 25 team. They've already got 20 wins on the year. You can feel stable. It's okay, even though it's easy. I feel like a lot of the discussion, particularly online, with this team is more negative than positive, and everyone's kind of waiting for the inevitable letdown and such. All right. There have been times where you just get excited about any Oregon team, and then they get to the postseason and it doesn't go the way that we've been hoping for. But it is okay to get excited or happy or feel good about a team, even amid struggles from time to time. But these were must-win games for Oregon. And this is why I am in a good mood surrounding this team. Yes, it got too close against Northwestern on Tuesday. I'm not going to argue with that. It should never have gotten to the point where fans were watching on TV just like I was and sweating at LA. No, never should have gotten there. But it did. They won. They were clearly the better team. And then they came out against Rutgers, where, again, they're at home. They are clearly the better team. And they just go out and win. Now, where was this against Nebraska earlier in the year? I don't know. Because I'd feel significantly different about this Oregon team who'd be 19-9, 8-7 in conference play if they'd played this way against Nebraska. But lo and behold, all you can do is go on to the next one. But the 2 reasons this is important, number 1, is that Oregon had to have these games to stabilize things, both in the locker room and with regards to their NCAA bracketology. And then number 2, those guys had to remember what it felt like to win a game. It'd been a long time. Yeah, you play a bunch of basketball games, but when you're in the midst of a losing streak, every day that goes by, boy, it feels long. You just keep waiting and waiting for an opportunity, and then you almost had it against Michigan or Michigan State, and you just kept missing. It gets frustrating. So you go back home, you win a couple of games, you do so convincingly on Sunday, and by the way, they're starting to find a consistent offensive rhythm. They made 13 threes in this game. That's not sustainable for literally anybody except maybe Alabama. But Alabama puts up a bunch of threes, and that's not what this Oregon team is built to do. But 13 triples. That was a season high. They only attempted 22. Like, you go 59% from three in a game. That's great. That's awesome. It's not going to carry over game by game. You know what will carry over game by game? Defense. This team has a very simple formula to win. Play hard on defense. That's it. I don't think anything needs to change offensively for this Oregon team. I know they just had an anomaly with the three-point shots, but here are their point totals since they started this poor stretch of play. They beat Washington way back when. And then in the 5-game losing skid, they put up 69 and 52 points on the road against Minnesota and UCLA. Well, that's not good. Then they put up 71 against Nebraska, 76 at Michigan, 74 at Michigan State, including 50 in the first half, 81 against Northwestern, 75 against Rutgers. Those are point totals that are going to win you more basketball games than you lose if you can just be solid on defense. But this is a twofold matter for this Oregon team defensively. Not only do you not let the other team score as many points, Oregon gets out in transition where I think they are a really good, capable team. When you have got Shelstad or Barthélemy or Bamba, who are veteran/talented guys or a mix of the two, coming down the floor, running the break, I feel great about what shot they're going to take, that they won't commit an offensive foul, that they will make the right play and get a quality look. Now, the bigs Oregon has are not incredibly fast. KJ Evans can run the floor. He had a really nice game on Sunday. 8 points, 4 rebounds, and a block off the bench. Shockingly, when KJ Evans has a good game off the bench, Oregon does well. And I just continue to wait for KJ Evans to make a leap forward. He needs another offseason to work on his offensive game. But defensively, he's really, really good. And Nate Biddle defensively can be really, really good and was in this game. He had 5 block shots of Oregon 6. KJ had the other one. Biddle had 15 and 10. Shelstad led the way with 19. What a surprise. What a surprise. Jackson Shelstad being aggressive on offense leads to good things for Oregon. And a little while ago, I talked about the assists. Jackson Shelstad had 3 in this game. But you know who did a lot of facilitating? TJ Bamba. He had 6. And Oregon had 16 assists on 28 made field goals. But they also got some of those field goals on run-out opportunities on defense. You can get easy lay-ins in transition, in-rhythm threes, catch the defense off balance. I think this Oregon team is solid. Not great, not terrible. I think they are solid in their half-court offense. I think they're phenomenal when they get out and run. They've got the bodies and the shooters to be able to make plays when their offense is on the move. But that has to start with forcing a turnover or getting a defensive rebound. And Oregon in this game, +6 on the glass. What do you know? Rutgers is not a great team. Northwestern is not a great team. But Oregon looked against those squads like they didn't previously against teams like Nebraska or Minnesota. And it just comes back to the same thing. Play defense the way Dana has always wanted his guys to. They do that, and they will be fine. Iowa is up next on Wednesday on the road. You go win that game, I'll start to feel quite good. Their toughest remaining game is at Wisconsin. You win that game, I'm going to go right back to being over the moon about these guys. Appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Ducks.